Hello students, last class we were seeing the properties, chemical properties of metals. Okay, so in that, so we will continue that. In that we are left with one, that is chemical properties of metals, that is how metals react with acids. Suppose if I say there is three base, see sodium and potassium, like sodium and potassium, they are highly reactive metals. When it comes to magnesium and calcium, they are medium reactive metal, whereas copper, iron, they are least reactive metal. So iron is least reactive metal. So when it reacts, sodium and iron, potassium reacts with metal, the reaction is vigorous. So when we can say when Na or K reacts with metal, the reaction is vigorous. The reaction is vigorous. The reaction is vigorous. So what it means, Na or K reacts with metal, the reaction is vigorous means the reaction takes place very fast. So how it happens? So let us take Na or K reacts with acid, sorry, not metal. So whichever acid you take, for example, I will take HCl, Na plus HCl, what it will becomes NaCl plus H2. Okay. So as I told, we have to balance. So here only one Na is there, one Na, not a problem. Cl1, Cl1, but Hr2, but H is only one here. So I will write 2 here. So when I write 2 here, 2H, 2H is okay. But 2Cl, here only one Cl. So I have to write 2 again here. So now 2 Na, but Na is only one. Now I have to write 2 here. So I think now it is perfect. 2Na, 2Na, 2H, 2H, 2Cl, 2Cl. So now it is balanced. So 2Na plus 2Cl, 2HCl will give me 2NaCl plus H2. So this is the reaction which happens very vigorously. Very vigorous. That means the reaction takes very fast. It happens very fast. Sodium or potassium. Similarly, you can put K here. K, that means what happens when metal like sodium or potassium reacts with HCl or acids, they form the salt along with liberation of hydrogen gas. If you take K, instead of HCl, you take here H2SO4. What it will become? K2SO4 plus H2. So H2 are there, SO4 is there, but K are 2 here. So I will write 2 here. 2K is plus H2SO4, K2SO4 plus H2. As in the last class I told what is salt. Salt can be sulfate, chloride or nitrate. Okay. So here potassium sulfate, metal sulfates are salts. Metal chlorides are salts. Okay. So Na and K reacts with acids, the reaction is vigorous. If I take another one, for example, if I take magnesium, it reacts with acids. Magnesium and calcium you can take, reacts with acids, whereas the reaction is moderate. The reaction is not fast or not slow, it is moderate. But when it comes to iron, that is Fe, reacts with acids, where reaction is the reaction is slow. The reaction is slow. Here the reaction is very slow, but in case of magnesium and calcium, it is moderate. So I will take one example, magnesium. So I can take HCl, H2SO4 or HNO3. H2SO4 is sulfuric acid, HCl is hydrochloric acid, HNO3 is nitric acid. So we can take any acid here. So I have taken HCl, H2SO4. Let me take HCl only. So I try to take HCl as more example because it reacts very well, and you can balance the reaction very well. So for your convenience, better take HCl most of the times. Mg plus HCl, I can write MgCl2. Okay. Then plus H2. You should remember this. H2 are there. H2 are there, but here only one H, so I will write 2 here. 2H, 2H. So Mg, Cl2, Cl2. So now you might getting the problem that why NaCl and MgCl2? Why only NaCl? Why it is not NaCl2? Why it is not MgCl? I have written MgCl2 here. Why it is not MgCl? I have written NaCl here. Why it is not NaCl2? That if you don't understand now, you will learn all about in class 10. It comes under valency. So you will learn all about that in your SSLC. That is oxidation number and valency will come. So you will learn that in your SSLC. Okay. Now you just remember the reaction. Okay. Mg plus 2Hc will give me MgCl2 along with liberation of hydrogen gas. Similar with Fe plus HCl. What will happen? Here the reaction is slow. Same thing. FeCl2 plus H2. FeCl2 plus H2. Fe plus 2HCl. But see here, all are same only reaction. Na, Mg or Fe. The reaction is not changing much. They are producing the salt along with liberation of hydrogen gas. Liberation means creation. ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತದ hydrogen gas, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು liberation ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay. So salts form ಆಗ್ಲಿಕತ್ತಾವ and hydrogen gas ಬರ್ಲಿಕತ್ತದ. So ಏನು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೂರು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್. But ಅವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅದ. In case of sodium and potassium, it takes vigorous speed, very fast. Reaction is very fast. But in case of magnesium, it is moderate. But in case of iron, the reaction is very slow. So please, you have to think, you have to consider these three reactions. Okay, how they react. Sodium potassium reacts very fast with acids. Magnesium reacts moderate. Iron reacts very slow. So these are the reactions you have to remember. So next we'll move to the next concept, that is reactions of non-metals, or we can say chemical properties of non-metals. Till this much we have seen chemical properties of metals. Now we have to see chemical properties of non-metals. How the chemical properties of non-metals are there. Okay, so I will write chemical properties of non-metals. Chemical properties of non-metals. So properties of metals, what we have seen. First, how they react with oxygen, how they react with water, how they react with acid, how they react with base, and how they react with, or is there any displacement reaction. So these five you have to remember. What are the five chemical properties? Reaction with oxygen, reaction with water, reaction with acids, reaction with base, and displacement reaction. You should remember all these five. So let us know one by one chemical properties of non-metals. You have known non-metals now. Sulfur, carbon, phosphorus. These are the non-metals. So we'll learn it one by one. What are the chemical properties of non-metals? So first one we'll learn, that is with oxygen. That means how they form with oxygen, how they react with oxygen. First one is reaction with oxygen. Reaction with oxygen. Reaction with oxygen. So what happens? S plus O2 will give you SO2. Now, over what is S? Sulfur. What is O2? Oxygen. Sulfur is reacting with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide. Sulfur is reacting with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide. Where here carbon is reacting with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Reaction with oxygen. Non-metals react with oxygen to form non-metallic oxides. These are the non-metals, they are reacting with oxygen to form non-metal oxides. These are usually acidic in nature. Metallic oxides are basic in nature, whereas non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. You should understand this. What is the difference between acidic and how we know that acidic and basic? Because when these solutions are allowed to convert the litmus paper, they convert these acidic convert blue litmus to red litmus. Those are metallic oxides, they convert red litmus to blue litmus. That means they are basic in nature, metallic oxides, but these are acidic in nature. Why? Because these are converting the blue litmus paper to red litmus paper. So these we can say that these non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. I hope you all are clear with this point. So first one is over. Reaction with oxygen. Non-metals react with oxygen to form non-metallic oxides. So second one, reaction with water. Reaction with water. See, this one will not happen. Non-metals do not react with water. Generally, non-metals do not react with water. So non-metals do not react with water. It will not happen. You cannot write like this: H plus H2O, SOH plus H2. No, it is not available. This is wrong. Okay. So non-metals will not at all react with water. So never react a non-metal with water. Okay. Water will not react with non-metals, or non-metals are not at all reacting with waters. So you should remember, reaction with oxygen will happen for non-metals, but reaction with water is not happening with non-metals. Okay, you have to remember water. Which are the non-metals? Carbon is a non-metal, sulfur, phosphorus, then which we can say iodine, fluorine, bromine, chlorine, argon, neon, xenon, krypton, radon. See, these all are non-metals. But in this word, argon, helium, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, these are also called as what? That time when I was telling non-metals, I was telling this. These helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, these are also called as noble gases. Their reactivity is very, very less. You can say that they have zero reactivity. You can still say that they have zero reactivity also. Okay. So reaction with water, non-metals do not react with water. When it comes to reaction with oxygen, non-metals react with oxygen and they form the non-metallic oxide. So non-metallic oxide is formed, which they are acidic in nature. They convert blue litmus to red litmus paper. Okay, we'll see Another three reactions of non-metals. We have seen only two now. So still we have to go for acids, base and displacement reaction. Reaction of non-metals. Reaction of non-metals with acid. With acids. Suppose if I take S, same will take S plus HNO3. HNO3 you know, nitric acid. Okay. So what it will become? SO2 it will become, NO2 it will become, and along with that water is releasing. See here. So now we'll see. S is there, 2O, and here NO2, H2O. Okay. So there are S is reacting with HNO3. So how many O's are there? That side 5 O's, but here only 3 O's are there. So now we have to, what we have to do? We have to balance this equation. So you look there properly. S plus HNO3 means SO2 plus NO2 plus H2O. Okay. Reaction of non-metals with acid. Sulfur is a non-metal. So this is reacting with acid. Now, which acid it is? Nitric acid. Okay. Which acid it is? Nitric acid. So it is producing sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide along with water. Okay. See there. Here S is there, O2. There are only two O's, NO2, but H2O. So how we have to balance this? Let us balance this. It is not balanced. One S is there, one S is there. Okay. So one H is there, two H are there. So I will balance it. We will put 2 here. Right? So if I put 2 here, 2H it became, now 2H it became, done with H. 2N, only one N is there, I will put 2 here, 2N it became OR6, but again it is not going to be correct. Here 2O, 2 to 4, again one O is there. So maybe this will not be H2O, sorry, this will be H2. If I see now, look here, S plus 2HNO3, that is SO2, NO2 plus H2. Now I think it is correct. Check the balancing. I am telling this because just balancing. You will learn balancing completely in SSLC. But if you know now, definitely it will help you. Okay. So 1S, 1S, 2H, 2H, 2N, 2N, and 6O, 6O, right? O2, O4, 4 plus 2, 6O, done. So this is the sulfur is reacting with nitric acid. So when sulfur reacts with nitric acid, it forms sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide also. NO2 also it forms. Okay. We will go to the next concept. Similarly, we can do with carbon. Another reaction is there, that is with carbon. Similarly, we can do. Nothing is changing. CO2 plus 2, CO2 plus H2. CO2 plus 2, CO2 plus H2. Nothing is changing. Okay. So write down this. So we'll move to the next one, that is reaction with base. Reaction with base. See what happens with reaction with base. What happens in reaction with base? Most of the non-metals will not react with base. Okay. And some non-metals react with base. But what they form the they form the oxide which are acidic in nature, but the reactions are very much complex. Okay, so that is why they are not given for your syllabus. They react with base, they form acidic. Okay, the metals are able to react with base, but the reaction is complex. Reaction ಏನದ ಬಹಳ ಟಫ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಮೂರಾಕ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ, ಎರಡು ಮೂರು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ. So that is why they are not there for your syllabus. No need to worry about them. So fifth one I can say is reaction with, that is displacement reaction. Fifth one is displacement reaction. Displacement reaction. My fifth one is displacement reaction. See, only these I am going to give you 4: fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Only these 4 non-metals give the displacement reaction. Okay, these are the only 4 non-metals that gives us displacement reaction. ಕೇವಲ ಈ 4 ನಾನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಉಳಿದ ನಾನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ಗಳು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, so displacement reaction, you know what is displacement reaction? When most reactive metal displaces least reactive metal from its solution, in that case. But here also same, but most reactive non-metal displaces least reactive non-metal from its solution, then we can say that it is displacement reaction. But however, you have to take a metal here, metal should be there. Okay, so how it happens? Whenever a most reactive metal displaces least reactive metal from its solution is displacement reaction. So if I take potassium iodide, if I take potassium bromide or potassium iodide, that is KBr, that is, we'll say with Cl, or you can say fluorine, it will become KCl plus Br. KCl means what? KCl means what? Potassium chloride. This is potassium bromide, but chlorine displaces bromide from its solution. Here the chlorine is displacing the bromide. So this one we can call it as displacement reaction. See here what it is doing? Chlorine, properly look here, this chlorine is displacing bromide. And here also, if I take another one, if I take Ki and fluorine, same thing will happen. So you can take NaI, sodium iodide, reacts with fluorine, it will produce sodium fluoride along with iodine. So this one you have to understand. Okay, so this one you have to understand, sodium fluoride along with iodine. Okay, these are called displacement reaction. Here the chlorine is displacing bromine, here fluorine is displacing iodine. See, fluorine is the highest reactive metal. This question will be definitely asked. Fluorine, highest reactive non-metal, highest reactive non-metal. Okay, fluorine is the highest reactive non-metal. When it comes to iodine, iodine is least reactive non-metal. Fluorine highest reactive non-metal, chlorine least reactive non-metal. This question will be definitely asked. You have to remember this. Which is the highest reactive non-metal, which is the lowest reactive non-metal? Fluorine is the highest reactive non-metal and iodine is the least reactive non-metal. And remember only these four: fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Only these four non-metals show the displacement reaction. Others will not show. So these are the chemical properties of non-metals. With oxygen they form the non-metal oxides. Non-metals react with oxygen, they form the non-metal oxides which are acidic in nature. S plus O2, SO2, C plus O2, CO2. When they react with water, they will not at all react with water. Non-metals reaction with oxygen is not possible. They do not react with water. Third one, acids. When they react with acids, they produces hydrogen gas. Okay, and non-metallic oxides also formed there. When it comes to base, the reaction with base is possible, but which is very complex, so that is not there for your syllabus. So you have to write when usually non-metals reacts with base, but the reactions are very much complex. That's enough if it is asked. Displacement reaction. So displacement reaction, you know that when most reactive metal displaces least reactive metal from its solution, we call it as displacement reaction. Only four non-metals: fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine goes under displacement reaction. So which is that example is there: KBr plus F, potassium bromide plus fluorine, KCl plus bromine, NaI plus F, NaF plus I. So you remember only this much. This is the better example. Don't remember this sodium. KBr is best, potassium bromide plus fluorine, KCl plus Br. Enough. You remember only one. So these are the things regarding that. And this one is very, very important. Which is the highest reactive non-metal? Fluorine. Which is the least reactive non-metal? Iodine. Iodine is the least reactive non-metal, whereas fluorine is the highest reactive non-metal. So you have to understand all these concepts. So okay, in your book, now uses of metals we will come, uses of metals and non-metals. In your book last page there are questions, some questions. Uses of metals they have given, which metal is to be used here, they are given in that way. Try that. We will discuss that in the next class. You try that. Okay, we will discuss what are the uses of metals and non-metals in the next class, as well as we will discuss some questions, that means exercise questions, in the upcoming classes. So this much for this class. Thank you. We will meet in the next class.